Okay, well, we're getting down to crunch time on this assignment, and I really want to make sure that all my friends in 488 are given the best opportunity to get an absolute A plus on this. So I'm doing this video for you, and I'm going to walk you through this example. Now, interesting, we took the statistics off a blackboard, and out of 60 students, only like 26 have actually looked at this example that I put out here. I don't know what else to say except, kind of wow. I mean, this example gives you the A to Z on everything. What needs to be in this assignment and the previous assignments as well. Shows you the formatting, shows you all the things that you need. I gave you guys some instruction on how to get here, but I don't know. Anyway, let's go through this so that hopefully you're not blindsided on the grading, etc. So, without a doubt, the grading on this final assignment is ratcheted up. Okay? At this point, you are beyond beginners at business case writing. You're novices. So, you guys will be graded as such. And I'm giving you plenty of opportunity to get a great grade here. So, take a look at the executive summary here for Parker Hannafin. I apologize for the, let's call it, less than professional production here, but it's the best I can do last minute without integrity, which I really didn't want to put it on that. So, yeah, this assignment's going to require an executive summary. Okay? Some people actually learn that today. But every case study will have an executive summary cover. Don't ever forget that. Cool? So take a look at the formatting here. Team 5 up in the upper right-hand corner. They did a great job. Start with their current situation. By now, you guys know what goes in the current situation. We're talking 10 font, Times New Roman, single spaced. Your header there, current situation, should be bold. I mean, take a look at the formatting here so you know what to do. All right? And then you're going to do your market situation here. Okay? Now, what we're talking about in that opening paragraph of the market situation is really basic. This is the market. This is the size of the market. The market has grown, has shrunk, has stayed the same for the last 3 years. And oh, by the way, here's evidence of that. Market size is approximately, because we don't always know exactly, approximately this size in 2017, 2016, 2015. If there's some significant growth or contraction, you want to give me some percentages in there, that would be awesome. Okay? Follow this example. It's giving you that information here. In this particular case, I actually helped them a little bit on this because they really got themselves thrown in the woods bad on this. Long story, but anyway, take a look at that. Okay. Now, what we do after we talk about the market itself is we break this down by the major competitors that, we see as major competitors. And you call it that. These are the major players that we studied. That's all. You don't have to justify it. Just say, this is what we studied. Cool? Tell me what portion of the market they have. Sales dollars is fine in there, but what's more important is what percentage of market share they have. Because in that market summary, I'm trying to understand who is the leader in that market. Who is the tail dragger or the last placer in that market? Or the last placer in the 3 or 4 that you provided, right? Give me market share percentages for sure. At least do that, okay? Now, that's like your first, we'll call it third of that paragraph. As you can see here, these folks did a great job doing that here, okay? Then I want to learn about this market, okay? You can tell me things about the companies. Right there, you can swing right into their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Primarily, I'm looking for SWOT on your company you analyze. So if it was Nike, give me a SWOT of Nike. The other players in that, strengths and weaknesses are sufficient. You should also tell me how they're going to market. Are they low-cost providers? Are they differentiating? Are they focused? Are they focused differentiating? Are they all of the five in some way or another? Give me some examples. Don't just tell me. I want examples. I want to know, right? Because you're trying to inform this reader so that they can't come back and ask you real punitive questions and kind of, for one thing, it makes you feel kind of goofy in front of 20 of your colleagues, right? So you want to give them those examples to say, hey, these guys go to market in a low price way. Their entry-level shoe is about $42. Boom. Or if it's a car company, Ford goes to market in an entry-level cost centric way with the Focus. I mean, that's how they go to markets with a low-cost solution, et cetera, right? All right. So in this, you've got how they go to market, got some examples of it. You're going to have Porter's industry analysis. Now let's go through that for a minute. Look, what are we looking for in the Porter's industry analysis? We're trying to understand who has control of who. Do customers have control? Well, if we use Nike, sure. Okay. Customers have what? No switching costs, so they can go wherever they want. They're in control. But does a Nike or Under Armour have control over their suppliers? Absolutely. The suppliers have little to zero control. All right? So make sure you know that. Make sure you indicate that. What about the barriers to entry? If the barriers to entry are low, that means profits are probably going to be low. If customers have low switching costs, that means profits are going to be lower, okay? For example, let's compare shoes to jet engines. Highly leveraged, high technology, high barriers to entry, high profits. When they're high barriers to entry, high technology, that means high profits, bud, okay? Secondly, let's look at pizza for a minute. Low barriers to entry, anybody can start a pizza shop. Switching costs are low, there's no profit there, right? Very little per unit, we'll call it, okay? Tell me that about your market. Tell me if you think it's reasonably profitable or not profitable, okay? That's very important to put that into that Porter's. You should know that, and you should be able to pick up on that stuff. Tie that into this. Now, one of the things that's going to be important in that market situation is going to be the SWOT analysis. Those opportunities that you list, again, are going to be connected right to your recommendations, right? So your recommendations are going to be tied right to your opportunities that you listed, all right? Now, one other thing about the recommendations. If there's some weaknesses out there from GM or Chrysler or Under Armour or Papa John's, and you think we can capitalize on those, throw them in your recommendations. So weaknesses can become a recommendation for an opportunity for the incumbent player here. Okay? Don't forget that. All right, so this is our first page. It's our executive summary. Then we roll into the financial analysis. Pay attention to how the example lays itself out. Yeah, it talks about sales and sales dollars, but take a look at how we're elaborating on this. Is it growing? Is it decreasing? What impacted it? And guess where you get all that information from? All of that financial stuff is coming from your annual reports. So if you're doing a report on GM, you're going to get an annual report from GM, Ford, Chrysler, maybe Toyota, whoever, and you're going to look at what they're saying about their numbers as well. Okay, what is impacting, people's bottom lines and numbers? There might have been some social economic shifts, geometric economic shifts. Who knows? Tariff trade wars, which were ratcheting up and then down maybe in the U.S. right now. Okay, so read all that stuff in those annual reports. It's going to help you a lot. It's so you don't have to make things up. Annual reports will feed your information. Don't just get it off the internet. Oh, and by the way, these are going to go through Safe Assign. So if you cut and paste something directly into your report, you better block quote it, because if you don't, you get gigged for plagiarism. That's not good. Okay? So FYI. All right? All right. We talk about operating income. Same. Take a look at these examples, how they're talking about how operating income went up or went down and what impacted it. EPS, return on equity, same. Did it go up? Did it go down? What impacted it? We want to know all these things, current ratios, etc. Okay? Not only do you get the information out there now, like you did in your current situation, but now you're elaborating on how it went up, how it went down, what might have affected that, and that's all in the annual reports by the company you chose. Okay, debt to equity ratio, etc. All right, so in this example, we then swing right into the market analysis, and there's just a ton of information that can be brought forward from the annual report in here. Have at it. Rewrite it in your own words. You can cite it, but don't copy and paste it. It'll show up. Talk about and elaborate on the market itself. You want to do this section before you even do your executive summary. So, as a matter of fact, let me just help you a little bit there. It's always best to just do your tables and your charts and things like that first, and then write. Okay? So the body of this entire paper, the current situation and the financial analysis, should all be done before your executive summary. The current situation is going to be 10 to 12 pages long. I'll tell you right now, with all the graphs and charts. You got lots of tables you need to put in there. Come and look at the Parker-Hannifin example here on how it's laid out. Okay, the only thing this group did that I didn't like is they put the table for the SWOT analysis in the body of the text. Put this stuff at the back, okay? Notice how they're using headers, and notice how they're labeling things. This is okay. It's not quite APA. I'm not too bad about that stuff, but this is the format I want. You guys have to follow this format, okay? So this is really what you should be looking at, and it's been available for about 4 weeks. All right, so again, here's your recommendations. It follows the same basic format and logic as your executive summary, only the executive summary obviously is a lot less. Okay? Now, in the back of all this are what? Your tables, your charts. Now, figure 1 looks awesome. Figure 1 through 10, whatever. Now, to be perfectly APA, that should have a title on it. I'm not going to gig you on it. But I'll tell you what, you put titles on all your stuff and you do it nice and APA specific, it gets you closer to that 200 point mark, I'll tell you right now, okay? It's going to make me feel better about how much time you put into it and how much you absorbed the instructions, okay? Look at the tables here. They did a great job on their tables, all right?